Hey, what's up? It's John from the YouTube channel Pro Craps. Back in 2021, we did a 24-hour telethon to raise funds for the National Council on Problem Gambling. In fact, we raised over $6,000 to raise awareness and provide resources for those with gambling problems. As part of the telethon, we interviewed over 20 of the biggest names in gambling to get their perspective on gambling issues, gambling problems, their experiences, and of course have a little bit of fun with them. Let's meet up with my good friend Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps. How's it going, man?
All right. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there. I'm living the dream over here.
Are you tired yet?
Not even a little bit. I might look. I'm sure my eyes are a little bloodshot and jacked up, but I don't feel it at all. I feel actually really strong.
Well,
and it's
you're
easy.
doing a fantastic job.
Well, I appreciate that. This is actually pretty easy, believe it or not. It's silly and crazy to say that, but you guys are making this easy on me because every guest, except for a couple, right? I never met Michael. I never met Steen. I getting to talk to friends. It's just like talking to friends. You and I talked on the phone. You know what I mean? It's no different than that. It's no different than that. And it's like, let's just BS in front of a bunch of people. And while we're doing it, hopefully they're digging deep, right? That's what we want. So you're going to do something cool today. You're going to roll your strategy, and I'm going to let you share what you shared the other day. I've been trying to follow everybody along, and I watched your last practice video, and I about crapped myself. I couldn't believe what you were saying. So why don't you share that with us?
Well, what I did was I'm fortunate enough to be able to donate. I pledged $100 last weekend as we practiced this out after that week. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do a minimum of $100. So I went in to start filming videos on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I was afraid that you and I were going to go live with this roll tonight, and I was going to be backwards. So I figured, why don't I go ahead and capture some videos, some rolls, and I can't win every time, but maybe I'll win a couple of times and be able to boost that $100 sum. So lo and behold, on Monday, I don't remember the progression of the videos. I guess I should have wrote those down. I had like a 200 and some dollar winning, which I bumped up to make it an even 150 because I didn't think Tuesday was going to come, and I had another 200 some plus winning, and so I bumped that up to 125. So that took me to 275 right off the bat that I was going to donate, and then I had another session which I won just a little over 200. And when you put it all together and you break it down, it's a little over a $700 winning. You break that 50 cents on the dollar. I said, well, I've been saying that all along. Each video, you can see the rollouts. My videos are shot unedited. They're just you get what you get. And we're at $377 today as we stand. And I'm afraid when you and I head to the tables, that this might be the losing session.
Well, and I hope roll, not. It might be, yeah, right.
Well, I'll roll my strategy against you because I'm a primarily dark player, hybrid player, such as yourself. Little different style of playing. I'm not a strictly don't player, so you can't always win. And when you get on a table with a long roll, like today during Live Fantasy Craps, Ed at first he killed me, and then he made me, and that's the power of the hybrids system. So I was able to say, well, I wasn't on the dark to begin with him at all because I knew his reputation. I never played dark against him nor George. No disrespect to any of the other guys. But if it wasn't for Ed's role, bringing me back, because I was able to donate an additional $25, which I've already contributed through the link that you have from Live Fantasy Craps today. So, you take the total of both. I'm not, like bragging or anything, but I hope that you and I can add to that so that we can push you over that $2,000 mark when we get done in this hour. Actually, I think you just showed the channel. I didn't quite see it. Was it 1,800 and something?
18 and change. Yeah. It's 1863. Yeah.
Well, we're going to try to get you to 2,200. So maybe if I do my math, maybe even 2,300 before we get done today, just in this hour. So, as far as what I did all week, I shot videos Monday, I shot videos Tuesday and Wednesday, and I've started pre-shooting videos because, as you know, I'm getting ready to go on vacation next week, and I'm going to be doing some cruise ship craps and heading to the Bahamas to play craps, and we'll have some trip reports like I did back in October. So, with that said, I strictly played my dark strategy the entire time. I played a squeeze four strategy. And I got to give credit. I think Jacob said it best last night when he was talking about some of the channels that people are just continuously rolling out strategies and a little bit of a twist. So my squeeze four, I want to give the shout out to both of these guys, both Brian over at Hawaii Crap Shooters and Jacob for how I play that strategy. It's a combination of kind of two of their ideas about what they do. So I don't want anybody to think that it's the Max Squeeze 4. It's not mine. I just took something that was already there. I didn't reinvent the wheel. I just took something and used it. And so
Mhm.
far, I'm going to say I have good success with it, especially on the shorter roll. But when you get into somebody like what Ed did earlier, oh my gosh, if you can't
Ooh.
transition out of the dark and back into the light, and I didn't even want to go back I didn't even want to try the dark on him because I was keeping the KPI for George. And I'm like saying 20 roll by. Then he hit 30, and then he hit 40. And I had to confirm with Troy over a 0.7 out. Troy was at 41 or 42 because I pushed the 7 so fast I wanted to look. But,
Mhm.
that's what you wait for. And it was that roll that brought me back today. I'd love to be at the table when he's rolling.
No kidding, right? I mean, he crushed it in the other thing too. In the he rolled 66 rolls with me and crushed it there too. He had, two super long. He's a dude for sure.
Oh, he just
Yeah.
impressed the heck out of me. It's the first time I
Yeah.
rolled live fantasy craps with him, but I watch his channel and I'm just impressed with what his ability is. As you know, I'm a
Mhm.
newer, serious craps player. I've played craps recreational for many years. Traditionally, like you, I started from you started with your parents and on the blackjack. I started with just gambling from a standpoint of poker, and from that standpoint, my two local casinos they closed their poker tables, poker rooms, I should say. And then COVID hit. And between that
Mhm.
combination, I was playing craps. I just took it more serious and I started recording. Well, first of all, I started practicing strategies, and then I built this little thing on my kitchen table. And then I bought the same setup that you have behind you from the same
Mhm.
guy that you got yours from. We probably got it at the same time. You were probably the
Yep.
reason why mine was so late getting here. But if you look at mine looks identical to yours in the back. It's just I've added some things to my table, and then I
Mhm.
started recording my throws because I really thought there was something to this dice control, dice influence. And I'm like you, I have mixed opinions. But what I have found is by using free things that are out there, there's easy ways to track your software than using a notepad and a piece of paper or a spreadsheet and calculating what dice sets you used and what results you got. So I took the free stuff and I started recording, and all of a sudden I started seeing a trend. Was I extending my sevens? No, I wasn't. But what I found out was certain dice sets gave me larger groups of numbers that I feel comfortable with. Now, the more I've done that, it seems like the worse I've gotten because I'm trying to do everything that people like George has told me in regards to how I'm doing the mechanics. So I
Mhm.
look at all those things and the bowl thing that you and Brian did last night. I was sitting there watching Dice Chef throw the dice, and I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot of dice. And Brian steps up to the plate, and then you kind of disappointed me. That's why I put in the chat that I would go ahead and throw a quarter or whatever it was that I said in the chat. For you because I really wanted you to
Yeah.
get there, and I saw the one you did where you were about 2 feet away from it and threw two
Yeah.
dice in
Well, they were giving
there.
me grief because I didn't get to. It's harder than it looks to do that. For sure. That's pretty from nine
Practice.
feet away. That's really, really hard to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and so that's my story. I started recording stuff for my own use because
Mhm.
one of the things George told me is he wants to see my release, and so I didn't pay any attention to it. And the next thing I know, I started doing like I don't golf, but I used to bowl. So with bowling,
Mm.
you have the same follow through, you have the same force. You're shooting for a specific pin. So whatever sport you're playing, I think there is some statistics to it. I play music just like you. I play music. I play guitar. You've got the
Mhm.
memory in your hands and your
Yep.
arms that you do, and I think there's something to controlling it. And it's like um, Ed said, and even El Toro said, you can control everything until the dice hit the table. After that, the control is really up to
Yeah.
wherever they land. So, with that
True.
said, I'm glad to be able to pledge the 377. That's a minimum. So if we head to the table here in just a few minutes, and we have
We.
winning sessions, you will get that 377
Yeah.
as I promised, and I'll go right to the donation button and
That is
go ahead and
awesome.
make that other
Let's
donation.
hope. Let's hope we can do a little better. That'd be great. So let me ask you this: what's next for Mid Atlantic? I know you said you're retiring soon, and you got to a shout out in the chat somewhere. I forget, I can't find it. There's so many things going on in chat, but somebody said, "Oh my God, he sounds like a sports announcer. What a cool vibe." So Gen X Crypto, subscribe to Mid Atlantic Craps. Jeff's great. He does
Well,
have a cool. You have a cool vibe about you. You do.
well, you and I had talked because I have a broadcasting background, um, and I gave that up almost 35 years ago to start the career that I'm in now, and I'm in public safety, and I'm getting ready to retire early spring, and I'm going to have a lot of time on my hands. And as you and I had that one, remember the 1 hour and a half conversation we had when we were talking about fundraising, and you
Oh
lost
yeah.
the cell signal in the mountains. We were talking about that because you reached out because I work with several nonprofit organizations that I help
Mhm.
run fundraisers for. And although I don't think I gave you any ideas about how you got to where you are, but I think you were looking for reassurance that, yeah, let's go with this. And if I gave you that
Mhm.
reassurance or was part of that, I'm glad I did because you've done one heck of a job here.
Well,
So what's
that's the
going
thing.
on with my channel?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, so when you have an idea like this, you got to run it by somebody who you have belief is going to A, tell you the truth, and B, has a little bit of common sense to him. Right. And
I don't
that's
know
why
about the common
I
sense,
called
but
you.
okay.
I called Greg and I'm like, you know what? If I do this, there's no going back. And like, I said it the day I announced, I said, if I say this out loud on my channel one morning during Coffee and Crafts and 11 people hear it, it's going to be real. There's no turning back from that statement. Right.
Yep.
And so that's why I wanted to talk to you. I'm like, man, if I do this, it's on. And what do you think?
Yep.
And you're like,
Oh
well,
no, you're right.
if you can stay awake,
And
you should do it. You know?
I gave you some encouragement to be able to go ahead and try it. Your presence
Mhm.
on screen is a natural, just like Dave Carlin's, just a natural presence on screen. As far as my announcing voice, when I hear myself in recordings, I cringe.
Oh, me too.
That's not me. But I just like helping people, and I know helping people and probably gambling don't go hand in hand. But we're here for calls, and the calls that you chose, one of the two, and this is the one that you chose, I thought was
Mhm.
excellent. So here we are, and from a small channel, in my pockets, I went in and I brought out a minimum of $100 because I thought that was good. Now I did the same thing you did when I put the challenge out there, and I said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot some videos all week long, and we'll
Uh-huh.
take 25 to 50 cents on the dollar over what I make. Lo and behold, 3 consecutive winning sessions, and I'm sitting on 377, and I'm loving it, and I'm glad I can contribute.
That's awesome. That is so cool. So we were talking about like, next up for Jeff. Next up for Jeff, you're retiring soon,
Yes, in the
right?
spring.
And you're gonna do this not full time, but you're gonna make this a more of a priority. It sounds like, right?
Priority, yes. I have a lot of hobbies, and just like you, I have some other vices that we don't want to really talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing bad, but there's things that we like to do, and I find joy when I get comments, and especially the emails from the small channel, from people telling me that the way that I'm explaining it, the way that I'm going through my techniques, I don't get as many rolls in as some of the other channels. When they're just sitting up
Mm-hmm.
there rolling the dice one after the other.
Yep.
But I have a lot of people that play along at home, and I used to do that with Big AZ's channel. I used to do that with Jacob's channel. Just sit there and play along with them, just so I wouldn't have to roll the dice, and I was truly getting random rolls other than what my dice on the kitchen table might have been doing. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm moving forward. I live in a small house. I think we talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
And space wise, I'm limited to about a 10 to 12 foot table. Right now, the table I have is 10 feet, and I'm split between making it larger or not, or taking the room to be able to move fully all the way around the table. And right now I can only be on one side of the table with the room that I'm in. But as you see, it's served me good. You can even see my ceiling fan up there running, and
Yep.
the lighting. You know how you got to get the lighting and the acoustics right.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot to it. So I've got this other room that I'm going to transition out sometime after the first of the year. I've got some new equipment coming. You and I have talked tech stuff for 4 or 5 different times, about equipment, and go back
Yep.
to a chat in one of the forums we were in, and we showed pictures of camera stands and those kind of things. But this is a hobby. I'm not looking to make money at it. I watched the interview with Jeremy and how he started, and he was probably the first one that I ever watched, and his production level, because I have people that are in the photography and videography business, friends of mine. His production level was outstanding, and it wasn't until I realize what he does is the reason why it's that way. But he's such a humble person. Almost every person that I've played with, that I've become craps friends at the table,
Mm-hmm.
online, or my viewers or subscribers, they're really really good people. They're really down to earth people. I don't want to keep mentioning like the Craps Nation group, but they were the first group that I entered. And they took me in like, I guess I'm an old fart, but they took me in like I was, one of their own. And I've
Mhm.
become very fond of some of them. I haven't met them. The group that the trip that they had in Vegas a few weeks back, or about a month ago, I was split between going where I was going on vacation with another group and going out there. And I really wish I had gone out there for them, because those guys had a wonderful time. And I'm still looking forward to meeting them
Mhm.
all. I'll tell you what, on that big AZ thing, I don't golf, but if nobody bids on that at the last hour, I'll probably shoot Lauren a message to say, hey, instead of golf, can we do something else? I'm going to bid on this package. So
Take him
I
bowling.
haven't decided. I haven't decided yet, but I don't golf. I tell you what, John,
Yeah.
we'll go. We'll go together. I'll buy it. You can golf with him, and I'll go
There you
play
go.
craps.
And you go play craps at night. That's it. I'll sit there at the bar and just watch. That's great.
So my channel, it's growing, and to get to where I am, I'm truly humbled to get there
Mhm.
with the subscribers that I have. And I've taken a lot of criticism from some YouTubers, and I've taken some good comments from people like you and Greg that have helped me along the way. And to the new guys like Dan Tana that's coming out, that Butterberg strategy.
Mhm.
I've actually got a video coming out doing a couple different things with it. It doesn't matter whether he's going to go somewhere and be the next, pro craps. We all start somewhere, and we take a
Yeah.
hobby and we move forward. I was glad you brought El Toro out,
Oh yeah.
and I would like to see him back. But listening to him talk, I understand.
Yeah. Well, he's lot going on there for sure. With the COVID and stuff. And but yeah, El Toro actually, I met him. And it's like you say, you meet folks on these streams and you don't realize it. When I did the live stream with the Square Pair a few months back, the Spider Murder episode, and El Toro was on that episode. He was in the chat rooms, and I'm like, oh my god, El Toro's watching me. Like I literally had like that moment, like like you walked by the prettiest girl at school kind of thing. I'm like, oh my god, he's actually here, and he said like cool things about me. So I reached out right away and like, hey, let's talk about what I'm doing here and how do I improve. And Jeremy's been instrumental too. Jeremy's great. You talk to Jeremy, talk to Jacob. These guys are so awesome at helping you out. It's and that's the community. Greg, obviously Greg, right? Greg was one of the first people that you know, ever even, noticed me. So Greg, I humbled by that. And you're the same with you, right? Now it's like, Greg and me, we're talking about you all the time. And it's like, you've got something going on, and it's not just the booming voice, right? You got a
I don't know
presence
about the
about
booming
you.
voice.
Oh, you
Well,
got the booming. You got the, you got the gift, right? I don't have
well,
pipes. I have no pipes at all. I got nothing. I have an
your voice is still
equalizer.
hanging out. Your
It's
voice is
doing
still hanging
good.
out 3 hours later.
Yeah, no, but I have a software that makes me sound like a man. I always joke about it because my regular voice is not good. So this thing is
Don't
all EQ'd up.
Yeah, don't give away all your tricks. Yeah, so
Nah,
but I understand. It's
got
like
to.
when you put out the schedule. I joked about this, and we can get on to what we're going to do here because I know you got time in line there.
Sure.
You put me in between Ken and Greg initially, and on my videos that you watched, you heard me talk about I was the rose between two thorns. Then you shuffle up, and I see Greg's video comes out that there's a change yesterday, and he's going to go on at 5, and Jeremy's coming on before me. I'm like, holy crap. I mean, what more could I ask for than to follow the man that, that is the myth of the craps
That's
YouTube
right.
community? Not necessarily that he's the initial starter, but he's big. I mean, and I just said, wow, that's just incredible. And I know that Ken's coming on.
Mm,
So really, I
yep.
guess it was the rose and then the thorn and the thorn, because I like Ken's personality. And I've said this many times in my videos. I even commented on a couple. He commented on my one of my videos one time, and he said, hey, you and John, you IT geeks, you got it down. Me, I'm just going to continue to do it. And I told Ken,
Yep.
just keep doing what you're doing, because he has a personality that you
Mm.
cannot like it. You know what I mean?
No, you can't not like Ken. Ken asked me this. He said, what should I do with my camera? And I'm like, dude, don't do a damn thing. Like me and
No.
Jeff have to work because we look like this. We got no hair. We gotta
You're
make this
right.
shit happen over here. And it's hard work. And that's why we have all the tech stuff to make it look like we know what we're doing. Ken just, I'm Ken, here I am. And I love that, man. It's so cool.
Yeah, and although probably when I first got started, I got a lot of advice from Greg over at Fives, and I believe he and I have become really good friends, and we've actually talked about it. Sometime when this COVID mess is over with. I go to Florida quite often, and you go to Florida because I think you said you have family there. I'm looking
I
forward.
do.
I'm going in the end of February. Don't know whether we're going to be able to get there with this new
Mm,
variant out, but I'm going, and I hope to be able to get there and play with him. And one time I was talking to him, and he actually said, "Man, it'd be great if you and John could be here. We shoot a video with the cats and all." And
yeah, right, with the
that would
cats and
just,
all.
whether we put the video up or not, that would just be a
Yeah.
blast.
I'm warning Greg now that the cats, I don't do well with cats. Cats don't seem to tend to like John very much. I don't know why that is, but I I February is actually a possibility because my sister got engaged last week, which is great. She lives in Naples. She got
Congratulations.
engaged. They are considering February. They're trying to figure it out with the whatever the school break is, the midwinter break, which generally speaking is last week of February. So
Correct.
that's a possibility. Otherwise, April. So that's the two dates that are on our
Well,
radar.
I'm going to be there the last week of February to the first of March, and at the end of March, I will be retired, and I can come back down there, and I'd be happy to come
Hmm.
down and meet with you guys. I already met
Yeah.
with a couple of my viewers and subscribers. One of them is a big fan of, well, he's a big fan of yours. I know that because we talked about you. We
Mhm.
went and I met Zoff, so I'm going to throw a shout out to him. We
Mhm.
talked. We played craps for about 45 minutes. We talked for an hour and a half to 2 hours just about craps and YouTubers and
Yeah.
just the names that came out. And he bought my lunch, so I guess I owe him lunch. But just to meet these people,
Mhm.
it's a hobby that's become. Um, I hate to keep using the word humbling, but it's just great to be able to see people with the same passion and drive for
Mhm.
something that we know it could affect our pockets, but we're trying to do what we can do to protect it, to limit our losses, which goes into your questions about bankroll management and those kind of things.
Mhm. It is humbling. It's and again, we're not doing it for the fame, right? But Ken will tell you, and I may even ask him this later on. He's at work right now, but you don't start the channel for the fame. You don't give a shit. You're just trying to
Nope.
do a thing, teach your stuff, and and I say all the time, it's a way to like make me accountable. Like if I do it on TV, I'm doing it for real, and it makes me every day get up and have to think and dive in. But you can't help but look at your subscriber count, and you can't help but look at the comments you're getting and take the emails personally and all that. It's part of it, and the celebrity is part. It ends up being a part of it, and you can't escape that. And everybody needs to
I
know
don't.
we're just two fat old guys playing craps. I mean, it's just you know,
And people, I've ran into a couple people, and one of them was on the cruise ship. She's a subscriber now of my October cruise, and she referred to me. I'm not a celebrity. I'm just Jeff. People call me
mhm.
by my last name. I said no, that was my dad. I said I'm just Jeff, just plain old Jeff. I'm just like you. I'll sit and shoot the breeze with you, and I don't like to think of myself like that. And I'm doing this as a hobby. And if I'm going to help
Mhm.
a more recreational player become more serious about the game, I think that's where my goal is going with my channel. I have a lot of experienced people that watch me, and I have a lot of. Greg once
Mhm.
told me, "Hey, don't let the criticism bust you because if you do something wrong, trust me, your viewers will let you know." And I can take criticism. I can take
Yeah.
constructive criticism. I just don't like the sarcasm that comes along when
Mhm.
they're being too nitpicky when
Yeah.
I'm just being me.
Yeah. Right.
You come have a drink with me. I'm just me.
Me too. And I'm the same. I'm unpolished, and I get to talking back there at the table, and I mess up, thank God we have Gainer, right? Rob is out there making sure we don't screw up our math every day.
Yep.
Rob does that for like 5 different channels. I mean, think about that. Like that's dedication to the cause. There's a guy without a channel it's just making the rounds, making sure that we don't screw it up for other people. That's accountability, right? And Waylon, same thing.
Yes.
Waylon's running around. Sometimes Waylon gets a little angry and pops off a little bit, but there's passion there. Waylon's like Big AZ without a channel. You know what I mean? And I and
Well,
I, I love the passion about that, right? It's like it's good to be like, yes, I feel this. And you guys, I want you to hear what I'm feeling. And that's the voice you get. And I think that's what we kind of engender. So it's good.
no,
We're
I think
getting more porn. Clear the porn out of the
yeah.
chat, please. God,
I just blocked it last night. I stayed up till somewhere between when you had Dave on is when I dozed
Mm,
off. So I didn't get that much sleep
yeah.
either today. I'm sure you're as tired. But when I go
I
back and I think about my journey to get where I get here, I think about Joe over at Craps Master Journey and listen to his
mhm.
story and his table build and the way that we do different things. It's just amazing because we all start as recreational players. We just want to become more serious about the game. And what happened in my beginning is when I was playing, not just recreational, but when I got playing a little more serious, I found out that I was losing just playing the one side. And I said, there's got to be more to this. And that's what the big AZ said last night. He said, there's got to be more to this. And what about this, the don't side or the seven side? And so I started watching a lot of channels, but including from Jeremy to Jacob and Lauren over Big AZ. And I said, that's where my mindset went. If the house has the edge, let's play with them for a little while, transition out, go to
Mhm.
the light side, and if we get lucky with a longer roll, we'll transition back in. And that's worked for me for it's a little over 2 years, a little less than 3 years. But being serious at the table, I play with somebody locally, and you probably know who he is, and he doesn't want me to mention his name. But we play, and we typically stand side by side, and I listen to you talk with El Toro. We stand side by side, and I like stick left one, and he likes stick left two, or one. But when I'm done throwing, I back up, and he's got this space. He's got that
Yes.
space there, and the box people know what we're doing, but
Mhm.
that's working together. Now we don't split our
Totally.
chips, as contrary to a couple of friends that think that we
Mhm.
do. We just play and have a good time. But when we're
Yeah.
playing, he and I don't talk. We might high five, every once in a while, but we're too serious about watching what's going on and knowing
Mhm.
what our next move is. And
Yeah.
to the recreational player that's going out there and dropping $300 on a $15 table, you got to have a plan. $5
Yeah.
tables, you find them on cruise ships and early in the morning.
Not true. True. All right, let's go play a little bit, shall we?
Sure.
I'm
Let
gonna
me
I'm
switch
gonna
my
change
screen
my
over.
microphone. I'm gonna change my mic.
Sure. No, go ahead.
We got some work to do. So to get the screen, I'm gonna apply that. You should still be hearing me. I hope.
I do.
All right. My voice may have changed volume a little bit there, but that's fine. Go back here. I'm gonna go to small. Let's see, table view. Let's see here, gameplay. I'm gonna go to this. I gotta figure what screen I'm gonna use here. So this is gonna be this will be my cam link. That's my table. Let's see, you're gonna be, let's take this one out. Let's make this one, whoops. This one will be Jeff. Oh, look, there's your table. Look at that. How good are we at this, right? Unlock the overlay. You're gonna be up here. I'm gonna I can't make them too big because we'll cover up too much of the screen, but I'm gonna cover up your throwing station with my table.
Sure, no problem.
But I can see your.
I can take that out.
I can. That's okay.
Gone.
I'm just my table's overlapping yours a little bit in the video. So we're gonna see, and I'll put some words up here so folks know who is who. This will make sense later on. I'll let's see.
And if you want to, I'll run the KPI if unless you want to do it.
I will not do it because my screen doesn't have enough room. It might be too small actually.
I already have it on my screen, don't I?
You do, but it's tiny because if you look at what I'm broadcasting, it's it's in the corner of my screen. Because if I want to show both tables, then it's tough.
Yeah.
So
I keep track of it because it keeps my rolls. And I go back in my videos and listen to what dice that I throw if I'm not throwing randomly, and I go back and I put it in Bone Tracker. So I'll keep it, and we'll just see if we hit the ATS. Not that I'm going to bet the ATS.
Perfect. All right, so you're going to be upper right. I'm lower left. Everybody knows our tables by now, so let's go ahead and play it out. I'm going to play Butterbird today. I'm going to play my new version of it. I'm going to work through it. My rack is at the top of the thing. I'm buying in for 10 shooters worth. We're not going to get that far, but 10 shooters at 170 or 275 each. So I'm going to go with 100 on the don't, and then I'm going to do 160 across, and I'm going to take a hit, come down, and work. I'm going to work into the don't come with my winnings. And you'll see how I do that when we get into it.
Okay.
And you're going to run what?
I'm going to go ahead and start with the 4 squeeze, which is a combination of anything but 4, anything but 10, along with Brian's one of Brian's strategies as well. I'm only going to use it to build the foundation, qualify the shooter, whatever you would like to call it. I believe in that philosophy. I got 50 on the don't. And although I do play this occasionally when I shoot, I typically do it against a random shooter. But I have 50 on the don't. I have 140 on the lay with the big taken out, and 20 and on on the hard 4. The only thing I'm not protected against is the come out yo. So who's shooting first, you or me?
You can shoot first.
Okay. So that Butterbird that you speak of, I've recorded a video that shows me playing the back wall along with after the come out and you take the back wall down. I transition to a 2-level green chip, $50 Butterbird
Interesting.
process with just 2 hits and down. So that video will be coming out later this week. Not
That's
trying to promote myself, but I just did. But,
that's cool. No, I actually like that approach to it, because coming from the back wall lay into the Butterbird is a way to hedge the 7 here. I'm not hedging the 7, so I'm really exposed for the 100 on this come out roll. So that's the one piece of it that I don't like. But you weigh that against losing 30 on the outside. So let's see what happens here.
Well, with the Butterbird, if you have both the pass and the don't pass, you're also not protected against the box bars coming out either. So
well, I'm not doing the pass either
at that level.
Yeah, I'm doing this straight don't. So I'm not going to do the pass don't pass, because my casinos don't let me do it. So I run this to practice for my local. So I'm exposed here on the come out roll completely.
Okay, you are.
So I'm willing to take that shot. Yep.
All right. So I'm going to throw, and Waylon's probably watching. He's going to love this. I used this set exclusively today on Live Fantasy Craps. I had a roll of 9, a roll of 10, and a roll of 4 with this set. So it's the 5, 6, 3, 5. All right, and really what I'm trying to do is I hit a lot of hard 10s with this. Not to say that I'm controlling the dice; it just seems what comes out. Watch this. I'm gonna jinx myself. I'm gonna throw an easy 4. All right. Dice are out. And there's a 5, 3, 8. Okay, so.
All right, good. We're on the 8 then? Cool. All right, I'm going to go 160 across, and I'll bet as fast as I can, because we are short on time. So there's my quarter.
Okay, well, what's
there's 5.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so I've got, for my shooter, 15 in the rack, 160 across, 100 on the don't. Point is going to be 8. If I'm feeling froggy, I could go ahead and drop the 15 on the hard 8, but I won't. But I could.
All right, and this is what I'm doing. I'm using the 50 on the don't and the 170 lay that's still out there on the 4. I consider it $70, but you do have the 20 on the hard 4, so an easy 4. The 2 ways that hurt you can hurt you. But I'm coming out with 60 on the 6. I hop the 5s for 5 each, and once I get to the 5s, my foundation would actually convert back into a $15 table, because that's what my minimum table is. I play here. That's what my locals are. And I got 3 progressions. You'll like this. What's it sound like? 3 come progressions.
3 comes.
And when I'm in the come, I'm also in the field. So whether they win or lose, I only do 3 of them. All right, now.
Yeah, that's a strategy Jeremy would never roll out.
I don't like that 8, so I'm probably going to jinx myself, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna do the 5-1, 5-1. I'm going to roll it over, and I'm going to have the straight 6s.
All right.
All right, dice are out, and there's a hard 10.
Boom, love it. Yep. All right, so the 10 is going to pay me 48. I'm going to do it this. I'm going to rack it all, but I'm going to put 15 of that. Or I'll go 10. I'm going to go 10 into the don't. So what I do with the winnings here is I'm going to take the reds off of my winnings and drop it into the don't, pull down the original bet. So I'm reducing my bets down completely. And all the chump change, we call it, goes into the don't come. The 4 and 10 are weird because they pay an odd number, but that's fine.
That's a unique twist to that strategy.
Yep, and what I'll do is if I get those things set, I'll take the don't pass bet down by how much I have the don't come set. So I have 0 risk, but all the coverage on the 7.
All right. So what I do is my 10 will travel. I'll get paid the quarter in the field, shift that up. But I do have to spend the $10. I took that out of the bank, sorry. No, I didn't. I took it out of my rack. I do have to spend the $10 on the hop to 5s. And I only hop to 5s 3 times whenever this is out. Eventually, I'm supposed to be able to get to my foundation within 3 rolls, no more than 4. But, things don't always go as planned. You know what I mean?
That's true.
All right. So I'm going to throw the same set. And dice are out. And there's a 5, 3, 8. Burn us both.
That's all right. I'm fine with that because my don't.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, my don't come travels to the 8, and I get paid on that. The 8's going to pay $35 and come down, I've got $10 for my next don't come bet when we come back through, and I lose my don't. No big deal. Now, once I lost that don't on a shooter, I'm not going back to it. I know Jacob says you got to keep going back to it. The allotment for this shot is not to go back, so we got burned. I'm cool. Just going to run through it now.
All right. So, same set. Dice are out. I don't think I removed my don't put it back up. I don't think I did. So, there you go. All right. Don't think I did. Dice are out. And there's a come out 7.
Boom. Get paid on this.
Yep.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Not me. I'm backwards on this one.
And I'm still owing myself a next come bet, so I'm set pretty well there. I'm going to change those 5 in for a green.
Now, I'm the shooter, and I actually burned myself twice. I'm going to get the 70 for the lay, and I'm just going to change up just a little bit. I'm going to drop back down to a quarter because I can still have an opportunity to do some things. My 6, I'm going to leave there for the time being. It's off. I still owe the 3 on the big for the lay 4 that's up there, and I do have to come back for the hard 4 because I still have the layout. All right. Let's do a dial-in set. All right. Dice are out. Hard 6. There's a hard 6.
Love it.
Could have been on and working, but I'm not.
So for me, that's 35 in, 15 to the don't come, racking the greens.
Oops. All right. That was easy enough for you.
And actually, I forgot. I should have been in. Oh, no, that's the point, right? That was your point?
What's that?
6 is the point, right?
6 is the point, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep, it was a hard 6.
All right.
So let's see. I got 60. I got 70 against 795-ish. So I'm even on the board. These two will be, if I throw a 0.7 out, they'll pay for themselves. I have 60 and 70. I have 70 up there, a quarter down here, and I got 20 over there. So right now I'm in full hybrid mode that
okay.
I've already lost on myself, but I hope that that trend doesn't continue. All right. So, all right. 5, 6, 3, 5. Dice are out. And there's aces.
Okay. That pays me in the don't. That's beautiful. Thank you for that.
Well, with me, what I like about that, a lot of people don't like this field bet, and you probably know who I'm talking about, but I'm going to lose the come, because of the aces, but I'm going to get paid double down there.
Yeah, that actually worked out for you.
Yep. I'm going to shoot this up. I have had enough of the field and the come. That's my 3 times. I pull my top 5s off. And since I want to get to the $15 level, what I'm going to do is I'll get the change from the dealer, and I'm just going to come up for my base. But I'm going to leave the squeeze 4 out just for another time or 2 before I take it up, because ultimately, the longer you roll, the more chances that that's going to come. And I don't want to lose it unless it's the hard 4, and then it's just kind of like a push. All right, so I still do have my 8 up on the 60. Everything else is at the base. All right, let's go ahead. All right. I'm not sure where we are on time because I can't see the time, but
we got about 10 minutes or so. We're good.
All right, dice are out. And there's a 5, 3, 8. That's what I was waiting for. See, that 8's going to pay me 70. And although I put my foundation out because I waited too long, if I was going to stick with the shooter, I could have just stopped with the shooter, but it happens to be me, and just pulled everything off and just wait. You don't have to play every shooter. A lot of new players think you have to continue to play every shooter. All right, so I'm going to get paid 70. So my 60 here will come down, and I'll come up for the minimum. And now it'll be a half press all the way because I do like to be collecting on something from this point out. All right, we could actually squeeze the 4 out. Here's your 4 squeeze, John. We're going to squeeze the 4 out. The hard 4 is going to come down, and we're going to place the 4 as well.
Nice,
so
nice. Love that.
Just a tad bit lopsided, but I'm okay with what's happened here. One, because I have the dice, but that doesn't mean anything. All right. Dice are out. And there's a 9, 5, 4, 9.
Good shot. I needed that one. So for me, it pays 35. I'm racking the greens, and don't come in the reds.
Yep. So I'm going to get 21. So I'm gonna press the sister. So I'll take the 8 and the 5 up. The 8 5 is not really a sister, but the 6 is the point. So I'm going to rack 10.
Mm-hmm. I'm just coloring up my rack here. So I'm actually right now, believe it or not, after losing that $100 on the don't, I'm actually dead even. So I've already recovered my money back, and what I have in action out here is actually all profit. So I'm solid right now.
Well, and that's good. I mean, we're playing two different strategies with two different philosophies. But if we were playing at the table, I'm not rooting against you. I want you to win regardless of what side of the line you're on.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Dice are out. And there's an AC Doocy.
Yes, thank you. Another freebie. Yeah, I mean, they don't come right now. It's a freebie. So this over here is all profit.
Oh, hey, that's right. Yeah. I'm not looking at the screen, so I'm listening to what you're saying, but I'm not looking at the screen.
Yep.
All right, get a couple more rolls in here since that was quick. Dice are out. And there's a Yo 11.
That's a bummer.
That one you didn't like.
That's all right.
Yeah, that one you didn't like.
That's all right.
That one you didn't
I'm still ahead, right? I'm still ahead, $12 after losing $100. I'm very happy with that. I could pull this down. I could pull down all what I got. $65 and pull that in as profit. I'm going to let you hit one more number, and then I'm going to pull it down.
All right, dice are out.
Yeah.
And there's a 639. 639.
Not what I'm on.
And since we've mentioned him during our time together, I've primarily been throwing the whale and set since then. I'm throwing the 5 6 3 5. So that's going to pay me 21. And what I'm going to do with that again is I'm going to catch the 9, going to take it up to 20, and I'll go ahead and take the 8 will go to 30, and the 5 will stay at 20 for the next hit. Okay, this
is my last shot on you. Your last roll, I'm pulling my fronts down. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Money shot right here. Call it the money shot.
Money shot.
Give me a 5.
All right.
Give me a 4, actually. I'll take a 4.
I would change the dice set and try to do that, but I'm just a rhythm roller.
No, do your thing, man.
Where I am, because I need 2 more hits, and then I'm on the profit side. Pretty decent. Dice are out. 415 now. You asked for it.
There you go, baby. Awesome. That pays me 35, right? The reds go in the don't. The greens go to the rack as profit. I'm pulling the 4 down. I don't need that anymore. Now I'm up $78. So just like that. The Butterberg is so cool. When you get 3 or 4 hits, if I wouldn't have lost that don't, we'd be up $175 right now. I love that strategy.
You're right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Love that strategy.
I get paid 28. I have 20 on the 5 and the 9. I will take this back up. And probably, even on myself shooting, I will regress. And when I'm on the don't, and people see me playing the don't and shooting, they're confused. But then they see what I'm doing. When they see me regress, typically they regress as well. Now I don't have any odds on the don't, so I'm strictly light at this particular moment. I'll drop back down here in a second and show you what I'm going to do because I'm ahead on the shooter.
All right.
All right. We better hope this roll doesn't go much longer because we got time constraints. Dice are out. And there's a 12 boxcars.
Okay, Bard here.
All right. All right, dice are out. And there's a 314.
Oh, I took it down, but that's fine.
4. So I had 12 and a 4.
I wanted to lock that profit. I want to lock that profit in. Now I got 2 don'ts. I got a don't 8 and a don't 4. I'm happy with that.
What I'm doing is I got paid $27. I'm looking at my rolls, and I would know on inside my chip rack where I would stand, and I would know that I'm above my average. I feel I'm comfortable 8 to 12, 8 to 10 shots. I'm at 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my profits here, and I'm actually going to reduce everything down back to some minimums. But I'm going to transition him to something that you really don't see on my videos that much. I'm going to do a little bit of a hybrid side portion of the Iron Cross because I want to be able to catch those other numbers because I've been missing the 2 3s, 11s, and 12s. I've rolled those and I haven't made any money. So now I'm even keel, and I know this is like bleeding money, but I've regressed and put my money in there. I think we may have made you another $50 on my rack towards your donation, if and whenever I what out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
After this roll, I'm actually going to place the 6 because I don't want to lose that. I'll just place it for the same amount of money.
Yep.
All right. All right. Dice are out. And there's a hard 8. Hard 8. I'm not sure what you had up then, but it sounded good.
I had a no 8. That's okay. It was a profit bet. So those cap bets that I do here in the don't, they're fine.
I picked the field up. I'm looking at the 8. I'm going to spend every bit of that money. I'm coming back in the field, and I'm going to push my 8 up just one time. And then after this roll, I will place the 6 for, I don't know if I'll do it for 24, but I'll do it for 18. It won't be that much of a loss one way or the other. 6. All right. Dice are out. And there's the 5-3. I mean, the 4-3-7 out. So
okay.
4, 3,
so I'm going to pick
out.
up a deuce in here. All right. I'm going to color up my reds just real quick. Keep things clean. All right. Puck's off.
All right. Are you going to roll one time or
yep.
we already done?
I'll go. Yeah, Ken's in the waiting room, I think. Let me have him join in actually, and just let him hear us. I think he can hear us. Hey Ken, we're gonna be about 5 minutes. I'm gonna roll. If I roll like crap, it's gonna be a quick one. You can come on in. If it's a long roll, it'll take us a minute. So here I go.
All right.
Tell me when you're ready, Jeff.
I'm ready. I've got it set up the same way I did before. I'm not going to play the hybrid. I'm going to do the squeeze 4. Go ahead.
All right, here I go. Dice are going to be out in just a second. There we go. It's a 5-3-8 to come out.
All right.
5-3-8's the point. And again, I'm 175, so it's going to be 160 across. That's 1, 2, and 3 to the rack. All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. I did the same thing I did.
You are quick.
A field. Yep.
You are quick. Here we go. Let's get them set here. I'm throwing 2V, by the way. I'm just trying to wing a 2V down here, nice and soft. Soft as I can on cork, anyway.
I know you're trying to hit me on that.
5-2-7. That was a quickie.
That was a quickie.
That was a quickie. Yep.
But with mine, it's not a big deal because
yep.
I went in the come. I get paid 50 on my don't, and I get 70. I got to take the hard 4 off. I get 70 for my leg, and when we rack all this up, I'm going to be up something. I don't know how much I'm going to be up, and I know since Ken's coming next, it's just the whole thing with me is that I was bleeding money right and left at the casino, and I said there's got to be a way to reduce it until you wait for that long roll, and that's what this is about. I'm
going to color these reds up over here for myself. I got three whites left over, so I'm up. Even after that PSO, and you're whacking me for $100, I'm up 53 for the session. Not great.
Oh, it's not great, but
that PSO comes one shot too early for me to break even. But it is what it is, right?
All right. So I'm not up that much, but I didn't lose any. Even on that long roll that I had, or longer roll that I had, where we both lost money. I lost on the point, and I lost on the don't. So I'm gonna call that 10. I'm short $1, but I'm up $100. No, $80. I'm up 80. Sorry, 79 if you want to know what's really up there, because I have my initial bankroll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's the profit. And you saw that, if we'd come up with 66 inside or 42 or whatever you do on the light side with a pass line bet, we would have lost twice. We would have lost that. And here we preserved our bankroll waiting for the next shooter. That's going to be Ken.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, for me, like the way that I play that Butterberg without the protection of the pass line bet, and I go out higher than my don't. So I got 160 out, and I'm only 100 on the don't. So a 7 in the first 2 rolls is a killer for me when I play it that way. So I lost, in your 7, you're hitting the point, me hitting the 7 here, PSO. That burned me twice, basically. And I still came up ahead because on a 7 to 9 roller, or even a 6 to 9 roller, that thing makes money every single time. And
right.
so
and you see me, with what I played. Fortunately, we didn't hit an easy four. That's what's going to
Mhm.
kill me.
Yep.
Uh, but I didn't lose money, and that's what I think. A lot of newer players, they think they have to pay the pass line because when they walk up to the table, that's what a dealer will tell them or somebody next to them. Put your money on the pass line, and
Yeah.
until you learn all about the game, and become a little more serious. That's what my channel is about. And I didn't make a lot of money. We made another uh, we'll call it 80. I'll tell you what, I'll round it up to 100. I'll give you another $50. So we're going to add 377 to that amount,
Yeah.
and that will be posted on your donation board.
Dude,
We're going to
that is
push it above the
un
$2,200 when I get to the computer after
that
we
is
get done here.
that's unbelievable, man. I so appreciate that. And I know the charity obviously appreciates that. That's awesome. And Dan 10, I'm glad I got to roll your strategy out live finally. So I'll spend more time on that Butterberg next week for sure. With warm rolls. Jeff, thank you for that. That was great.
No, thank you. I look forward to coming back when you're on your last hour.
Absolutely. Yes, that'll be fun. And then we should do like, I keep telling everybody the same thing, but we should come back one of my evening lives and we'll just do like an evening live and just kind of do this kind of thing and just hang and roll.
Well,
People love
I
seeing
think
that.
if newer players, let alone experienced players, if newer players could see several players that play the hybrid system,
Mhm.
and not just the don't and not just the light, I think if we all did our little variation at one time, I think people would see that there is something to the hybrid. You might not make a lot of money. The key is we preserved our bankroll and we're not out.
Yeah. Well, what does John Patrick say, right? It's how little do you lose, not necessarily how
Yep,
much you win.
that
That's
is
the thing,
correct.
right? That's the thing. So,
Yep.
anybody out there, I'm looking at some of the chat. I'm trying to run by the chat. There's a lot going on there. If anybody had a side bet on Jeff or me or money on the wins or whatever you're going to do there, that's your total, right? 80 for
Well,
Jeff,
it looks like
53 for me.
looks
So
like old number 7 said post 50 more for Jeff. I
there
don't
you
know if
go.
that's what he's going to make or
Let's
whatever,
hope
but
so. Let's
my
hope so.
subscribers that I failed to mention this real quick. I had 5 subscribers that were going to play along. Whether they're watching or not, I don't know because I wasn't watching the chat.
Right.
Obviously, I didn't make that much money today on them. But even if they just gave $10 each, it would help the cause.
100%. 100%.
All right, John. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, good work.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
work. Good
All right.
work.
Thanks for coming in, Jeff. Yeah, thank you for that. And yeah, all we can do to help you.
Yep. Thank you.
See you later,
Take
sir.
care.
Thank you. Yep.
Yep.
Bye.
God bless.